Dominic had me barking like a dog. I saw a typo, I saw a plot hole. So just shut your mouth. Kingfisher, God bless America. It keeps you looped in. She's a freaking genius, I love her. Ruined me. You know what I mean? This is what I would call healthy toxicity. I'm literally, see, I'm crying talking about it. Chloe Walsh, you are an angel. You deserve everything. We're lucky that we are able to live a million lives through books. Hi, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Laurin. I'm a lover of all things books, home, and beauty. Today, we are doing our May reading recap for the month, and I'm so excited because I haven't done a lot of these throughout the year. I think I've literally only done one in April. I always do them on my TikTok. By the way, if you're not following me on TikTok, here's my TikTok. It's Laurin Elexis. So if you want to know what books I read in the month of May and if I recommend them to you guys, then keep on watching. We are going to go in order. So I read a total of 13 books, but go me, patting myself on the back. I did not buy all of the physical books. I am going to, because there's a few in here that I read that I'm like, yeah, I need them on my shelf. But there are also a few that I'm like, she wasn't that girl for me personally. So we're gonna start from the very beginning and do it in chronological order because I loved doing this last month in April because I was able to kind of like walk you guys through my thought process. So we're starting with the very first book that I read in the month of May. The very first book I read in the month of May was Older by Jennifer Hartmann. And let me just say this. I was coming off April really strong. I had a really great reading month and I was like, I want something skanky. I want something a little risque. And if you guys have watched any of my videos, you know that I love Penelope Douglas. I love Rena Kent. I love a schmutty little dark romance. I love when something is, you know, like a taboo romance. Like I love an age gap. I love anything. It takes a lot to shock me. And I think that's the fun thing with reading is like, you know what I mean? We love to be shocked. We love to be surprised. So Birthday Girl is one of my favorite books. I love it. It is unhinged. It is an age gap. It is ex-boyfriend's dad. Yeah, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's very, makes you question your morals when you're reading. But again, this is fiction, so that's a whole nother convo for another time. But in saying that, I love Birthday Girl. I'm about to go on vacation and might read Birthday Girl again. I definitely might because I need that itch scratched. So keep in mind, I went into this book, Older by Jennifer Hartmann, because I was scrolling TikTok and that's where I get all my freaking TBR recs. And everyone is like, this is a Birthday Girl dupe. Oh my gosh, this is like, just like Birthday Girl. This gives me all the feelings. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys right now, I already set the book up for failure, okay? Because Birthday Girl is like one of my like OGs. Like that is a comfort read for me. So I went in expecting Birthday Girl vibes. So I'm gonna start off before I even talk about this book in saying that because I didn't give her a fair chance. Okay, in saying that, I gave the book 3 stars and I think really honestly, it didn't have a chance like I said because I was comparing it to Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas and Penelope Douglas is like my queen, my icon. She's one of my favorite authors. However, in Birthday Girl, you don't feel bad for the ex-boyfriend because he's a douchebag. In Older, it follows a young girl and she's troubled. She comes from a troubled home and that's her FMC. She's this young girl and she has a best friend and her best friend's mom who take her under their wing, and she meets her best friend's dad at a party by accident, not knowing it's her best friend's dad, right? Okay, this is unknown. And then she finds out it's her dad, and for me it's just like, I felt so bad for the best friend and like it was just kind of hard for me to wrap my mind around. And like I'm not a judger. Like I read the most like off, you know, unhinged kind of things. But for me, I just felt so bad for the best friend and for the mom because the mom was cool. And the whole time, the forbidden aspect and the romance in the book, I couldn't even really enjoy because I was like, this is messed up. And granted, the book ended, you know, really great and, you know, there was resolution and the way it was done was awesome, like the story, but for me, I think half the fun of reading a book that's like taboo or like forbidden love is that like you want them to get together so bad. And like, yeah, the tension was okay. I think that I just, again, didn't give it much of a chance because, you know, I'm team birthday girl. I'm like, yes, birthday girl. And it wasn't birthday girl. So really it's like my fault for going in. I like to go into all books I read blind. I don't like to know anything, even trigger warnings, which sometimes I get in trouble. But yeah, this one just kind of fell flat for me. And I was so excited. It was the first thing I read in May. And we will get to the rest of my reading month because I just was like, this is a dud. Dang it. Like, this is such a dud. Not awful. Not the best book. So I rated it 3 stars. I am a vibe reader. So that is Older by Jennifer Hartmann. And again, like I said, give this book a try if you want a age gap situation. And they have more morals than they do in Penelope Douglas, Birthday Girl. So maybe you guys will enjoy that more. For me, I love like a little revenge arc, like a little, ooh, like, you know what I mean? It didn't smack like that. It didn't smack like that. And honestly, the MMC, the dad, got on my freaking nerves real bad. So maybe that's why too, he was just corny for me. So yeah, that is my first read and it is 3 out of 5 stars. Okay, you guys, I gotta take my freaking jacket off for this one. I'm sweating. I can't even handle it. Okay, we got our jacket off because again, we have something very serious to talk about. That is our next read that I finished in May. And this set the entire tone for the month of May, babe. Because if you've been following any of my videos on my YouTube channel or on my socials, you know I've been hiding from this book for a while because I did not want the series to end. And when it finally ended, I was like, I'm not okay. So the next book we read in May and we finished that broke my heart in 2 and also put it together, but there's a hole there that will never be filled, is, you guessed it, it's Restless Stars by the Twisted Sisters. This is the last book in the Zodiac Academy series. There are other series in the universe. I've already read the prequel, which is The Ruthless Boys, and then Darkmoor Penitentiary I'm about to read this year. But as far as these characters, this is the last book where we get their full story. We've got resolution, we got our conclusion, but let me just tell you, I think this book took me like a freaking month to finish, maybe over a month, honestly. And that's because I'm an avoider when it comes to reading. Like, if I know something's gonna wreck me, I'm going to avoid it. You know what I mean? And I loved this and I soaked it up. And this was like infinity stars out of 5, by the way, because I went into Zodiac Academy blind. I actually listened to the audiobook at first and then I was like, hold on. I'm obsessed with this book. This is so good. I was literally hooked from the very first book, and the amount of emotions, pain, obsession, just crazy feelings from high to low that I went through because of this series is absolutely freaking insane, and it makes me want to literally cry talking about it. Like, grow up, relax, but like, seriously, I will never be the same after this series. This is my freaking Roman Empire. Tori and Darcy, I love them so freaking much, and it's just really sad to have to say goodbye to a series because you'll never be able to read it for the first time, ever. And I think maybe normal people who are mentally sound, maybe they won't, maybe that's like, oh, well, you get to reread it and know what you know. And I'm definitely going to reread it. Matter of fact, after I finished this, I was like, should we reread it? And also, I followed Jamie Reeds on TikTok. I'll put her screenshot over here of her profile. She had a Zodiac Academy reading order. So I followed her Zodiac Academy reading order. And the Ruthless Boys is like the prequel series. So if you read that with her reading order, which is like kind of in the middle, and they're 5 books. So it's 5 books on top of these 9 plus novellas. So you do the math, that's a lot of books. She put her reading order out and I was like, I'm gonna follow that, and I'm so freaking glad I did. I'm so glad I read Ruthless Boys like in the middle, and you're not gonna want to do that if you read Zodiac Academy, but it just added layers and layers and layers to the story, and there are things, some little Easter eggs in here you would not even know or notice if it wasn't for me reading the Ruthless Boys like in that order. So thank you to Jamie. I'm pretty sure her Instagram is That Girl Reads, but her name is Jamie and she's amazing, and I have followed her forever. And when I decided to start this journey, I'd seen Zodiac Academy everywhere and I was like, I'm just gonna trust what she said. Her word is law. The only thing I would adjust, and she might have updated this reading order because I started the series 6 months ago. This like journey actually 6 months ago, because I just try to make it last because it's so freaking good. The only thing I would change about her reading order, and I'll put a screen of the one I followed, is I would tandem read Beyond the Veil and Sorrow and Starlight. And I'm not gonna say why, but baby, I barely got through Sorrow and Starlight because I was pissed. At the end of Heartless Sky, I was ready. Literally, I'm actually not even freaking kidding. I'm going to have to make a whole Zodiac Academy review video talking about each individual book. And if you guys want that, comment down below because, baby, I got a lot of thoughts. But I will never be one to spoil a series for somebody. No, not around here. So, yeah, just know that that's the only thing I would change about the order. And like I said, she probably has an updated reading order because I think she's got like multiple on her page. But she is so right about putting the Ruthless Boys in the middle because, again, it just made this world of Solaria and everything, the characters, the plot, the attachment to all of these characters and story, like, so much deeper. And I swear to God, my eyes are burning thinking about this because it's just like, it's the same thing for ACOTAR and Throne of Glass for me, and the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. You know, I'm like, it's like a soul tie. And it's like, I read so many good books, but it's like, you know, when those books hit and they're just like, especially a series that's super long, and obviously the Twisted Sisters got a lot to say. And I know not a lot of people, like, let's see how many pages this last book was. On Kindle, it said it was 1,200, but in this book, it was 888 pages. Like, all of these books are huge, and I would have read even more. I'm not gonna lie, like, I swear, I don't know how many pages the whole series is, but it's a lot. And yeah, they just did a fantastic job at humanizing, my husband's mowing, by the way, if you guys hear that, but they just did a fantastic job at getting you emotionally invested by book one. And this is not literature. I hate when people come for Zodiac Academy and they're like, I saw a typo, I saw a plot hole, This is for vibe readers. So just shut your mouth, lock in, enjoy it, have a good freaking time. And I think when you take it for face value and you just literally enjoy it for what it is, I think it is literally the best freaking time, and it's one of my Roman empires. And Darius Acrux, the man that you are, Lance Orion, the man that you are, Darcy, Tori, Seth, Caleb, Geraldine, Max. I just love all of them. Xavier, Sophia, Tyler. Like, I'm so obsessed with all of the characters that by the end of the freaking book, I was just like, this is my family. Like, this is literally my family. I don't know what to do anymore. And like I said, after I finished, actually, no. When I was in the middle of, let's see, Sorrow and Starlight, I keep having to, because it's a blur. Like, it's a blur, babe. So don't come for me. But at the end of Sorrow and Starlight, actually the beginning of that book, I was like, I want to reread it right now. I want to reread it knowing what I know, because this is the craziest series, but it is one of the best series I've ever read. And they do such a, sorry for the mowing, they do such a good job at making you feel like you're the one, like, in school. And I'm not even going to explain Zodiac Academy, but I'm just going to say, I need to shut up because this could turn into a freaking Zodiac Academy thing. But this is the last book, so for me, this is Infinity Stars Forever and Ever, Amen. I don't think I will ever be the freaking same. I know I will never be the same, and I'm still mourning this. So, since we're in chronological order, you know that I finished Zodiac Academy, and yeah, I was depressed. So we're going to get into how I healed this book slump. And I was calling it a book slump. It's not a book slump. It's a book hangover. Because I've been talking to my girls on my Instagram. By the way, we have a lot of fun over there. We have a cute little community over there. I don't know how many girly pops I have on there now, but I'm obsessed. And shout out to my freaking girls, because the books I'm about to start talking about, they healed me from a Zodiac Academy hangover. So if you've already read Zodiac Academy or you're hungover from a series you love, we're about to get into how I healed that. It's a hangover, not a book slump, because I'm like, I just didn't know what to do with myself. So we're in chronological order for a reason, but yes, Restless Stars, you broke me into a million pieces. And I will not apologize for how I picked those pieces up. You guys will see. Next up, we have Quicksilver by Callie Hart. And baby, I'm late to the party, but she showed up. And we all know that I like to read like 7,500 books at the same time. I have ADHD. It's very stimulating to me. It's stunning. It's gorgeous. And I'm obsessed. I was reading Quicksilver at the same time I was reading Restless Stars. And I was reading Older at the same time I was reading Restless Stars. Because like I told you guys, I read that book for a month and a half. I tried to make it stretch. And there were times where like shit hit the fan and there was like war and there was all kinds of stuff happening. And I was like, I need to go to my happy place. And my happy place was, I thought it was Older. Older, by the way, you guys saw, like I read Older and then I read Restless Stars. It was a whole thing. So I was reading this at the same time Also, I've had the dramatized audiobook in my Audible for a minute because I bought it like way back with one of my credits. And everyone was like, it's so good because the narrator for Quicksilver, he does the graphic audio for Resand for my husband. I cannot remember his freaking name. And I'm obsessed with him. I love his work. Big fan, big fan. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get back in my romantasy era because I swear if you guys have been following, Onyx Storm kind of ruined fantasy reading for me because I'm so hungover from that book. I was hungover there. It's like I've had, not even hungover. I was hungover. I've had so many book hangovers because they've been so good. So it's not like I'm complaining, but it's just like, it's a lot to deal with. I just realized my chair was like spun. It's a lot to deal with. You know what I mean? It's book hangovers are not fun for anybody. So anyway, I was reading Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I knew I was going to love this. Everybody, all of my book besties on my Instagram and TikTok, they were like, why the actual heck have you not read Quicksilver? You are a freak. You will love this man. And my girls know. I will say I'm so thankful for all of my book besties because you guys freaking know my brain and you know what I like. And thank God for my girls because if it wasn't for my girls, I probably would have had a terrible reading month because I was so depressed. So yeah, we started reading Quicksilver and baby, let me just show you these tabs. Do you guys see that? Do you guys see that? Do you guys see those tabs? I ate this up. I ate this up, babe. This carried me through my depression. And then, guess what happened to me? I was hungover from this book. But I cannot say enough freaking good things about this book. It had everything in the entire world that I needed in a romantasy. It had an amazing FMC, an amazing MMC. The slow burn was freaking slow burning. The magic system was so cool. The world building was so cool. The creatures were so cool. The dynamic between all of the politics in this world was so just intriguing and locked me in from literally the first page. I love an older sister, me being an older sister, so I loved Saris right off the bat. I loved Carrion. Oh my god, he was so freaking funny. Like the whole time I'm like dying laughing. Like I was laughing in this book. I was literally like clutching my pearls in this book. I was like, hey, I need my husband in the room now, if you know what I mean. Kingfisher, God bless America. Also, the parallels between him and Resand, yes. Yeah. I love a man that acts like the villain, but he's not. I love a man that puts the whole city on his back. You know what I mean? This man is everything and more. And Callie Hart, I need Brimstone like yesterday. I needed ASAP Rocky immediately because I have not stopped thinking about this book. And I swear, I like literally want to listen to the audiobook again because it's so freaking good. If you're thinking of reading this, I immersive read this, but if you're not an immersive reader, a lot of people don't like to listen and read at the same time. I immersive read this and I soaked it up and I'd be pausing. I'd be pausing and annotating my butt off because it was that good. And the audiobook literally just made that experience even crazier. It was just stunning and gorgeous and I'm obsessed. So yeah, 10 out of 10, a million stars out of 5. Quicksilver by Callie Hart, infinity stars. Yes. Our next read after we finish Quicksilver, because again, what did I do? I got over Restless Star. Well, I didn't get over it. I was still like in like a book heartbreak, to be honest. But then I finished Quicksilver and I was like, the way the story ended, I was like, right, oh, stunning, stunning, stunning. So now what do? You know what I mean? Like, do I jump off a bridge? Like, I don't really understand because now I'm hungover from 2 books. So like I said, you guys, I was going freaking through it. So I was like, I need something hockey. I'm in my MM romance era. If you guys know, I freaking love an MM romance. My first MM romance was God of Fury. My Roman Empire forever and ever, amen. So I've been kind of chasing that high. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find a little MM action, a little situation. Also, Kiss the Villain, scratch that itch. Well, I finished Kiss the Villain. You know what I mean? She was gone. So I was like, MM hockey romances, MM because I wanted some hockey. And I was burnt by hockey books a couple months back. So I was like, I'm wanting to be in my hockey era. You know what I mean? So I picked Him by Sarina Bowen. It's an MM hockey romance. It's a Friends to Lovers, which I don't really love Friends to Lovers. It's grown on me, especially after reading Chestnut Springs. Like, you know, it's okay. It's not my favorite. But baby, this one This was a bisexual awakening. This was an MM romance. This was a forced proximity. It was everything I needed and more, childhood best friends, and it was just a fun time. I really enjoyed it, and it was what I needed at the time, and it is a part of a series. I have not continued the series because, again, I'm just like, I was mood reading a whole lot this month. And again, if you guys watched my April video, you know I had a lot of like hopefuls. No, that went out the freaking window, by the way. But yeah, it was a good time, and I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It is very feel-good, very cutesy, and the tension is delicious. Chef's kiss. Absolutely, absolutely 10 out of 10 would recommend. I did give it 4 out of 5 stars just because, like, it didn't make me want to read the next book because I feel like we got our resolution. It was very cutesy, but I will probably be continuing the series. I just wasn't like dying for the next book because the first book like gave me everything I needed in there. And yeah, this month's scenes were, yeah, yes. I love an inexperienced character with an experienced character, and I love a little awakening moment. I love it. But yeah, it was delicious, and I would highly recommend that. And it's on Kindle Unlimited. Go read it. Okay, I'm gonna do the next 2 books together, and then I read a couple and then I read the third book. This is a series. It is The Veiled Kingdom by Renee. I'm gonna start off and talk about the first book. The first book, I wanted that romantic-y feeling, okay? So I came off my MM hockey romance on Kindle Unlimited. I said, yes, we had a good time. But Quicksilver and Restless Stars, they like reignited my fantasy love. And I was like, oh my God, I need it so bad. Like, I need a romantic-y, but I cannot get into one that's super serious because, again, my attention span and I'm still nursing these hangovers, right? So where did my mind go? My mind went to Kindle Unlimited, easy romantic-y. I should have known, because one thing about me is when I'm reading smut or I'm reading romance, I'm not asking for a lot. You know what I mean? I'm asking for some tension. I like what I like. I like a story. I don't just want to read smut. Well, it depends on them. But it's just, I know myself. When it comes to fantasy and romantasy books, I need layers. And I know that about myself, but I was trying to heal the broken pieces in me. So what did I do? I was like, okay, let me look for some recs on, you know, easy romantasy. I should have gone to My Girls because we'll get to that later, but I didn't. I was just like, I need something now. It was like 11:30 at night. So I found the Veiled Kingdom series by Renee. First book, also these books are very, very, very short, by the way. They're like 200 pages. To me, that's like, they're not even 200. They're almost 300 pages like a piece, I feel like. I think the last one's like a little longer. I started that book, I finished it in one setting. I finished it in literally like an hour and a half. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is so good. It was not slow burn. It was very, very fast paced. And there was not a lot of world building, which, duh, I looked up romantasy, you know, easy romantasy, whatever. But I feel like they just like threw us in, and the romance of it in the first book, I literally freaking adored. I loved it so much. I loved the characters. I loved the hidden city aspect. It is basically about a princess who was born without powers to an evil king, okay? And she's running away from said king. And she gets captured by this rebellion and meets this rebellion leader who's hot. We love him. Dagger. He's everything. And like, even me trying to explain it to you guys, the world building and the explanation for things didn't even happen until book 3. So book 1, in conclusion, I rated it 4 out of 5 stars because I had a great time. Yeah. Hey, yeah, I had a great time. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yes, I ate it up. Yes, I said, oh, this is stunning. This is what I need. And it gave me that romantasy aspect, and it was very fantasy oriented. I love a magic system. I'm like, ooh, la, 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 la. The way the first book ended, I was like, oh, second book happens. I feel like because the first book was so short, it needed another 200 pages to get me there. It needed to world build in the beginning. And I know a lot of people hate that, but for me, I don't care. If I don't have world building or backstory, why am I supposed to care? And it's different than like, you find out stuff later and it all connects. There was no connecting. There was just info dumping along the way, and like, we were expected to like care. And so I think by the second book, it was such a dud. And let me see what I rated the second book. So the second book I gave 3 stars. And I feel like it was so freaking slow paced, and it lacked any depth to add onto the story. So I was just kind of like, okay, like, this is super slow. But again, gave it a chance, finished it, and I'm like, I need to finish this series because like a part of me wanted to know what happened, right? And I read a couple books before I read the last book because the last book took me a minute to finish. I literally was like, it was like pulling teeth, and I almost DNF'd it. Okay, guys? I almost did. I read a couple books. We'll get to the books I read, but I just want to conclude this series because I don't like talking negatively about books. I feel like if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But I'm just kind of explaining my thought process, why I didn't really love it, and what I think could have been better, because I feel like there were a lot of opportunities to make the story great, but I think it was just rushed, and I think at the end she just threw a lot of info at us, and I was just kind of like, I don't really care. The way it ended, I was just kind of like, okay, I wish I just DNF'd it. And I hate to say that because, again, I don't like speaking like negatively. I'm just telling you guys my experience. And would I recommend this series? No. I would say if you want to try it, I think the first book is a fun time and it's a really easy read. Like I said, I read it in like a freaking hour and a half and I had a great time. But just know going into the rest of the story, it didn't scratch my itch because I was just kind of like, by the time we found out information, I was like, I don't really care anymore because it was just kind of thrown and kind of like, I don't know. But yeah, I rated the first book 4 out of 5, second book 3 out of 5, the last book got a 2 out of 5 for me. I'm sorry. Okay, let's move on. The next book, which actually I read this after book 2 of The Veiled Kingdom, whatever, but we're just moving on. We're leaving The Veiled Kingdom over there. I hate to be like that, but we are. The next book that I read in May was Own Me by K.A. Tucker. And if you guys have been following my reading vlogs, you know I love this freaking series. And you know I started this series just on a freaking whim. I was like, oh, I never heard of this, the Wolf Hotel series. And then my friend Kim over on Instagram, she's stunning, she's gorgeous, I love her. I will put her Instagram profile right here. You guys need to go follow her because her book recs this month single-handedly saved my life, okay? I'm not even being dramatic. But Own Me is the last book in the Wolf Hotel series. And baby, this series, I am going to reread or re-listen because I have all the freaking audiobooks because I'm a psychopath. A lot of them are on Audible Plus, but I don't think like the last one is. I had such a good time with this series and the last book delivered. K.A. Tucker literally kept me entertained the entire time. There are good smut scenes. There is a good story. It's small town girl with billionaire. It's workplace romance in the first couple books. Our FMC Abby, she finds herself and finds what she wants in life. And Henry, our MMC, our billionaire, our little grumpy billionaire who just is unavailable for everybody except his woman. I am obsessed with the both of them. And I'm not going to say, I can't say much because K.A. Tucker does such an amazing job at leaving you like, oh, you want more at the end of each book. So she did an amazing job at keeping me hooked, and she throws in these crazy like action plot lines. But I'm not going to say too much about the last book because I don't want to give it away, because whenever I got to the last book, I was like, what? Actually, I got to the end of the 4th book, and I was like, oh, yeah, we gotta dive in. Yeah, we gotta dive in. And I feel like the last book just gave me everything I needed and more. And I cannot wait for Ronan's book, which it's coming, I think it's coming this summer, and I literally can't wait. I will be reading it. But yeah, I am so obsessed. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I can't say too much because again, I don't want to give anything away if you want to start the Wolf Hotel series, but it is truly a series that gets better and better and better. And it was really good for me because I needed to finish that series anyway, and I was already going through a book hangover, and I was like, you know what? Let's start it. Let's start it. Especially after the Veiled Kingdom situation, I needed something to like pep me up. So yeah, that is what we did, and we had a great time. I'm so obsessed. A billionaire romance? Yeah. Give it to me. Thank you. Okay, the next book we read, and I was still in like a little bit of a book hangover. Okay, guys, so keep this in mind. I was still like, I was having a good time. I had a great time with the Wolf Hotel series, but then I finished that series and I was like, oh my God, this series is over. What am I supposed to do? Like, why does this keep happening to me? That's kind of how it felt. And my reading was super stagnant until I got to this point. So I asked my besties, Kim, I just told you guys, so Kim and Catherine, here are their profiles. You need to follow them on Bookstagram. They are my girls. They have the best, they arc read. They read more than anyone I freaking know a month, and it's just like they're superstars when it comes to freaking reading. And they're always reading something delicious. You know what I'm saying? Like, these girls know. They know, and they also know me, and they know what I like and what I probably won't like. So they're always giving me recs, and my TBR is literally like a mile freaking long. So shout out to them because we have a little group chat, and I message them in a group chat and I'm like, hey babes, like, I'm going through the worst book slump of my life because now I'm still hungover from Restless and Quicksilver. I don't even know what to do with myself. I need something really slutty. So both of them recommend Inferno by Luna Mason. This is the first book in her series, Beneath the Blaze, and baby, when I tell you, I had never read a Luna Mason book. She is now, yeah, I'm reading everything you're coming out with. The second book I cannot freaking wait for. I went into this blind. I didn't know anything about this, just that my girls recommended it, and I said, okay, period, I will follow you guys into battle, you know what I mean? So Charlotte, our stabby FMC, she is on a mission. She's married to this guy who's literally her abuser. She's unhappy, obviously, like it's not a good marriage. And she's being held hostage because he's withholding her dad's safety over her, so she like has to do what he says or he's gonna hurt her dad. So she's on a mission. She meets this guy, Declan. And they don't know it, but they're low-key enemies and they're on opposite sides, and he's like a part of her mission. So they meet and they hit it off. They have a little spicy situation, and then she finds out that he's one of their marks. So to protect him, she calls one of her friends in the mafia that like is her ally, you know what I mean? And they plant a weapon and make it look like Declan was the one that did it. So obviously, like, he doesn't know her real name or anything, and he finds out that it's her, but he can't find anything out about her because they're in the mafia, and it's like this whole thing. So way later on, we flash forward, and I'm not going to say what happens because there's other things, and I want you guys to go in blind just like I did because it's such a good time. But later on, her evil husband wants her to enter these games. So there are these like sex games, and they take place in this chocolate factory. Yeah, it's giving spicy Willy Wonka. You know what I'm saying? And it's her mission to find like the leader in this chocolate factory situation and him. You know what I mean? Because that's what her abusive husband wants her to do. So she goes into this mission and she's like, oh my gosh, like, I just want to like be done with this. Like, I want to be free. This is like a trial situation where it could end in, or, you know, you win and you get like, I think it's like $1 million. She is there to the main guy. Guess who the main guy is, you guys? It's Declan. Yeah. So it's crazy. So it's basically, she has to perform these things in this chocolate factory, and it's basically enemies to lovers, back to enemies. It's just crazy. It's a really good freaking time, and I can't say much about it besides you need to read it. If you need something dark, if you need something to get you out of a book slump, this is your freaking book, because baby, it resurrected me from this book slump. And this was when May had a really amazing turning point. So I gave Inferno 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason I gave it 4 out of 5 is because like I would have read more of it, honestly. And I feel like there were times where I was like, this is such a good freaking story and there's so much action that I'm like, I would have read more flashbacks. And I loved her trauma, and that's the only reason it didn't get like a full 5 stars. But I'm actually so obsessed, and I know that the next book is going to like bring me to the ground. I know the next book's going to be my favorite, and I'm just so excited. And Luna Mason did an amazing job at creating the most unique environment, and it was just so creative and different than any dark romance mafia book that I've read. And I had the best freaking time, and it brought the heat, babe. Let me just tell you, it brought the heat, and it really just saved my life, to be honest. So shout out to Kim and Catherine. Thank you guys so much for recommending that book, because I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for Inferno. You know what I mean? And thank you, Luna Mason, to writing that book, because baby, it saved my life. So coming off of Inferno, I was having a good time. I was like, yeah, she's revived. She needs something. So what do you think I did? I went to a book that's been on my TBR for a while. Like I said, my May hopefuls in my April video, I think Quicksilver was one of them. I can't remember, but the other ones, no, don't care. I was like, I want something billionaire-y, I want something romancy, and who do I know that they write the best romance, and it's a good time, and I've always had a good time, and I don't have to like really use so much brain power. I can just like freaking enjoy it and have a great time, and that's my girl Anna Huang. So I read King of Wrath by Anna Huang, and this is her first book, her Kings of Sun series, and it's freaking stunning and gorgeous. And when I tell you guys, I went in blind again. I just knew Anna Huang writes an amazing MMC. She writes an amazing world. She is just amazing at what she does. And I was in the mood. I was really in the mood. And I read the Twisted series. I really, really freaking enjoyed it. I read the Twisted series a while ago, so it's been a minute since I've read any Anna Huang books, but those are the only books I've read of hers, and I had a good time. So I was like, we're just gonna give the Kings of Sun series a try. We're gonna see what's going on. When I tell you I didn't know what to expect, I just went in blind. Dante Russo? Yeah, hey, I'm freaking obsessed. I'm obsessed with that man. He's everything and more. And Vivian, I was obsessed with her. So Vivian, she is a jewelry heiress, and her dad is a douchebag. And he marries her off to Dante Russo, who he has a lot of connections. He's a billionaire, and her dad basically blackmails Dante to marry her, but she doesn't know that, okay? So it's a marriage of convenience, and they both don't really want to be in, you know, the situation. But throughout the story, what do you think happens? Yeah, it's forced proximity. It sure is. It sure freaking is. It's a slow burn. There's tension. And Dante Russo has the filthiest mouth, and it's just everything and more. And I had the absolute best time. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. 5 freaking stars. I cannot say enough good things about King of Wrath. I am still reading the series, and it's like up there. It's in my top 3. Like, Dante Russo's freaking everything, and I love the Kings of Sin series way more than I love the Twisted series. I still like the Twisted series, but I think that Anna Huang, she put everything into this series, and I literally devoured it. And something else I freaking loved about the series is that Christian Harper was in it. Yeah, and if you guys read the Twisted series, you know Christian. So I really love, kind of like how in the Renaverse, there are characters that you know from other books if you like read it in order. That's how this series is. And whenever I got to the Kings of Sin series, I was just like, oh, I know. And I love that. It's like being a part of an inside like joke. Like, you get it, and it's just, I'm obsessed. You don't have to read the Twisted series before, but if you do, it's kind of cool because you're like, I know them, oh my god. So yeah, I just love her world. I love the way she builds it. Literally, the mouth on Dante Russo is everything. And Vivian, I'm freaking obsessed with her, and I love her, and I enjoyed the book. I ate it the freak up. 5 stars, no notes. The next book we read, y'all know, if you know, you know, this is Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent. This is the first book in her new Vipers series. Baby, Miss Rena Kent is writing hockey romances now. She sure freaking is. And what did I tell you guys? I was burnt by hockey books like a couple months ago. And so the hymn book, I had a great time. I was like, okay, my hockey love is reignited. This book came out on May 27th, and I was so freaking excited about this book. I did an entire reading vlog where I read this book, so you guys will see that later, so look out for that because I'm unhinged and obsessed. I read this book in one freaking setting. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. How many pages is this bad boy? 480 pages. Sat right here, ate it up. Ate it up. Because we all know, I read the Legacy of God series, and then I read Kiss the Villain, and I also have dabbled in her Royal Elite series. I need to get back to the entire Renaverse because I've not finished the Renaverse. This cured me. This healed me. So you guys can see, we just went up, 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 up. We started from the bottom. We were depressed, depresso, espresso. Well, we were high, then we were low, 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 and then we just went up and up and up. So this, I have really, really anticipated this. This is one of my most anticipated releases of the year. I had the best freaking time, and I'm not going to say much because you guys will get a vlog of me reading and reacting to this book, and it is spoiler ridden. So I'm gonna keep this spoiler free, and I'm just gonna say, you need to read this freaking book. If you like hate to love, and you love a messed up MMC and an FMC that matches his energy, and hockey, babe, and dark romance, and Rena Kent's mind because she's a freaking genius, read this book. Also, look at the sprayed edges on this thing. She's gorgeous. She's stunning. I'm obsessed with her. And the character art, oh my god, I have to show you guys. But yeah, I'm not going to say much about this. Just know I'm so obsessed with this. It got infinity stars out of 5 for me. I literally had the best freaking time reading this, and I was giggling, kicking my feet, and you guys will laugh when you see this reading vlog because I'm a drama queen. We all know that. But yeah, Miss Rena, missed you. She's just, I mean, W after W for me. Kiss the Villain. First of all, I came off reading all the Legacy of God's books, and I was so freaking obsessed with that series and all of the characters in every single book. Then we got Kiss the Villain and blessed us with that. I do not get the Kiss the Villain hate, and I'm sick of it, and I hate to see it. Then she came out with this beautiful masterpiece. Rena, I love you. You're everything, and I literally had the best freaking time. Did my jelly cat? Yeah, my jelly cat's even shook. But yeah, you guys need to read this. I'm not going to say much, and you will see that reading vlog because I'm unhinged and I'm a psycho, and I had the best freaking time. The next book I read was King of Pride, which is book 2 in Anna Huang's Kings of Sin series. So I came off of King of Wrath, and I was like, Dante, hey, yeah, I'm obsessed with you. But then I had to read Rena. I read Rena in literally like, I don't even know. I want to say it was like 5 hours. I don't even know. I think it was 5 hours. It was like 4.5 to 5 hours. But I read it in one setting, and I was obsessed. So I had to take a little pause from my Kings of Sin for my new releases. Also, I'm going to talk about what I'm currently reading now. Don't think I forgot about a new release. Just wait, just wait, just wait. I'm talking about releasing 10. Anyway, so I came off Beautiful Venom, and I was like, ew, I need to dive back into the Kings of Sins because, baby, I just picked up King of Wrath because I was like, I love Anna Huang, and I feel like I need something, you know, smutty, something fun, something romantic with a really amazing plot. Like, we had a great time. I met Kai Young. I love Kai Young. So the second book follows Kai Young, and they're all intertwined. So you meet these characters in book 2 and book 1. That's what I love about Anna Huang, is like, she lets you in, you know, she lets you in on the inside joke on what's going to happen. So you kind of saw the foreshadowing here. But that's what I love about an intertwined series, especially with Miss Anna Huang, because by the time you finish book 1, you're like, yeah, I need to dive in. I need to know what's happening. She keeps you looped in. She's a freaking genius. I love her. And this series, I just cannot say enough good things about. Saying that, book 2 was a little slower for me, and the only reason is I still ate it up. I say it's slower. I think I read it in 1 day. No, I read it in 3 days, because I'll get to that in a second. But it was a little slower moving for me because King of Wrath I read in literally 1 day. Like, I was obsessed. But of Pride, it follows Kai Young. He is trying to become the CEO of his family's company, and he's a billionaire like they all are, and they run in the same friend group, but he comes from a really rich family. And then our FMC, Isabella, she's a bartender, and she secretly comes from a rich family too, but she's making her own way because she has this deal with her family that if she doesn't figure out what she's going to do with her life by 30, she doesn't get her trust fund. It's like this whole thing. So she's an aspiring writer. She has purple and black hair. She's a free spirit, and Kai is British. He's a rich billionaire. He's very like, he translates books into Latin for fun. Like, this man is like a genius. He's a glasses wearing man. He's very smart. He just has all of his eggs in a basket and has his image, you know, and his things that are expected of him. And Isabella, she's more of a free spirit. She's more doing her own thing, finding her own way. We love her. I loved Isabella, by the way. So they are from completely different worlds, even though they had that similarity there. So I enjoyed it. But I just feel like, and there were things about it that, like, I still had a great time. You know what I mean? But compared to King of Wrath, no, it didn't hold a candle. But still, I literally enjoyed the book. I love the way Anna Huang writes her FMCs because I love that she encourages them to find their own situation. They don't just like settle down with their man and they're like, okay, that's it. They're on their own journey. And Kai is an unproblematic king. He completely supported Isabella, and it's like, I'm not gonna give too much away, but babe, Kai is an angel. And maybe I think the reason that I didn't like obsess and inhale it, I still enjoyed it, like I said, is because I love a toxic man. Something's wrong with me. I know that, okay? But I love a toxic man. That's why Dante Russo, and we're gonna get to the next man that I'm talking about because it gets better and better and better. So I still really, really enjoyed this. It just got 4 out of 5 stars for me because, like, I wasn't like, like I was King of Wrath. That's the only reason it got 4 out of 5 stars for me. And again, I'm a vibe reader, so I was just like, this just is not my kind of man. Kai was so sweet and angel, and I still loved his character, but I wasn't like, ruin me. You know what I mean? Even though there were scenes where Kai was like, oh, hi. So no, it's not going to get less than 4 stars because, babe, it was still a good time. So yeah, 4 out of 5 stars, King of Pride. Loved Isabella, loved Kai. I just like a little more toxicity. You know what I mean? The last book that I read in May was King of Greed. And this baby is book 3 in Anna Huang's Kings of Sin. Dominic had me barking like a dog. And Alessandra, I loved her so much and looked at, let me just say this. I cannot decide if King of Greed or King of Wrath is my favorite. They're neck and neck right now. Like, they're neck and neck. I am so freaking obsessed with their stories. So we learn a little bit about Alessandra and Dominic throughout the whole series. So you know that they kind of have like a rocky marriage and they're kind of distant. So Dominic is a self-made billionaire because all these men are billionaires, but Dominic's story is kind of unique because he completely became a billionaire by himself. It wasn't like generational wealth or anything. And Alessandra, she comes from a wealthy family, but she has been Dominic's ride or die. So they've been together for 10 years, and the straw that broke the camel's back was Dominic forgot their 10-year wedding anniversary, which, baby, I'd have been pissed too. So she decides to finally leave Dominic because she's like, I'm tired of you choosing work over me. This is just not the way it was before. But something I love is this is what I would call healthy toxicity because she chose herself. And I'd never have read a marriage trope where it's like this. Like, I have not read a book like this, and so I really, really enjoyed this. So any recommendations of books that are similar to this, by the way, give them to me because, like I said, this literally, I devoured it and I inhaled it. But she gets tired of him choosing work over her because it's not that he doesn't love her. It's that he's worked so hard for his business and to become a billionaire his entire life that it's everything to him. So we don't blame Dominic, okay? We're not mad at him. But we also understand Alessandra. She's like, baby, what about me? Like, I've been with you through all of this and our marriage is just nothing. You know what I mean? So she chooses herself. She asks him for a divorce. He doesn't want to give it to her. And he realizes he doesn't care about everything he's gained if it means that he loses her. So this entire book is basically just a groveling husband trying to get his wife back, but he didn't really do anything wrong. Like, I mean, yes, I think he did, because I'm glad she left. And their relationship, watching, also we get flashbacks of him as a young couple before they were married and how they met, and we get present, and it's just like he watches her find herself again, and obviously we know this all it ends in an HEA, babe. We get her happily ever after, but the way that I literally devoured it, I didn't know that a groveling husband would make me blush, giggle, and kick my feet so much until I met Dominic. And Alessandra, I freaking loved her entire character. I loved her choosing herself. I loved her doing hard things even though she didn't want to. She chose herself ultimately, and their relationship was better because of it, and it was just stunning and gorgeous. And it was 5 out of 5 stars. Anna Huang, no freaking notes. So as of right now, King of Wrath and King of Greed, they are neck and neck. I really want to say King of Greed is like a little higher than King of Wrath, just because their story was, Dominic didn't do anything. You know what I mean? But I do love a toxic man. So like, mommy not mad at you. Mommy not mad at you, Dante Russo. But yeah, I'm just obsessed. I literally am obsessed with these men, and I'm obsessed with the way Anna Huang writes all of her characters. She just does such a phenomenal job. And yeah, that was the last book I finished in May. Okay, now that we have finished talking about the books that I'm done reading, we're gonna talk about a book that I've been reading in May, but this is gonna be June's problem, okay? But I'm gonna include it in this video because y'all know what I'm about to tell you, because it released on the same day Beautiful Venom did. Okay, we're gonna be talking about Releasing 10. Okay, so this is probably, besides Onyx Storm and Beautiful Venom, the most anticipated release of the year for me, because I found The Boys of Tommen last year and I've read it very slow because I wanted to savor it, because I have never read a series that has impacted me. I swear to God I could cry talking about it. That has impacted me as much as The Boys of Tommen has impacted me. Like, obviously, my fantasy series, my staples, my God tier series, yes, they have helped my mental health more than I can even say. But what I will say is, Chloe Walsh, you are an angel. You deserve everything. And I'm also talking about this because she just posted a video on her Instagram yesterday, because this book is about Lizzie. And she's one of the characters in The Boys of Tommen. And I don't want to say she's the villain in the Boys of Tommen series, because she's not. But she is a very complex character. And there have been times where I'm like, Lizzie, you bitch. Like, you're being mean to multiple characters that I'm attached to. But we all knew, if you read the Boys of Tommen series, if you've read them, we all knew that this book was going to be so emotional. I didn't know how Chloe Walsh was going to do it, because again, we don't know this character's trauma. We don't know why this character acts the way she does. We don't know anything about her because we haven't got her book yet. So we've read all of these books that are so emotionally gut-wrenching and so real and so raw. And if you've read any of Chloe Walsh's books, you know that she does an amazing job at showing you the rawness and the realness of trauma. And I feel like a lot of authors write about their characters experiencing trauma, but Chloe Walsh has said in all of her acknowledgments or all of her dedications that this is coming from her personal experience. So first and foremost, I think all authors deserve that recognition and respect, that putting yourself and your work out there is very vulnerable. But the fact that all of these stories that have hit home to so many people, including myself, have come from her personal experiences, once you read them and absorb them and realize, like, this does need to be talked about, especially if you're someone that has experienced the things that she talks about in the series, and I definitely have. Especially Joey's story really resonates with me in my life, and it was very hard to read, because the way she just shows you like how damaging it can be. I swear, like, I'm crying talking about it, is domestic abuse, you know, in Shannon's books. Alcoholism, and growing up in that as a child, it is just, oh my God, it's like one of my like soul series, like seriously. And not that fantasy hasn't like helped my mental health tremendously and made me feel so seen, but Chloe Walsh, especially Joey's story, I resonate so much with Joey. And as an older sibling and just the things that life throws at you that I feel like nobody talks about. I think that this series is just so important. And I think that it is gonna force a lot of people to have uncomfy conversations. So in saying that, Chloe Walsh, you are a saint. I love you so freaking much. If you ever see this video, icon, love you. She told everybody Lizzie's story was going to be very, complex, and we all knew that she was going to hit us with something, right? I went into this book not knowing what to expect. I knew she was going to rip our heart out because Chloe knows how to do it. She really does. But I did not think it was going to be this traumatic. In saying that, I started reading this, by the way, the vlog I was telling you guys about, the Beautiful Venom vlog. I was going to do a reading vlog, and you guys will see when that comes out. I don't know how I'm gonna freaking edit it, but I was like, I'm gonna do a 24-hour readathon or read these two anticipated releases together. So I read Beautiful Venom first, and thank God, because when I finally started, I finished it in one setting because I was like, oh my God, like I couldn't put it down. And then when I finally picked up Releasing 10, the first page had me sobbing, especially after Gibbsie's book. It just wrecked me. And I am 200 pages in right now, and I've been reading it off and on in between because I have had to take breaks from this book. In saying that, I feel like a lot of people feel that way because this one is very raw, and I didn't read her acknowledgments until the other day after watching her video, but you can tell it's written from not just, a fictional character. I mean, she put her soul into this, and these are very, very dark things she talks about in this book, and all of her books have dark elements to them, but I think it's an important message. And I think that this opens up conversation about things that are uncomfortable. Trauma is not comfortable. Trauma is not easily talked about. No one walks around and it's just like, what's trauma done? Well, me and my friends do. But it's like, I think it's very therapeutic, and I think it's very important to read books like this. And I think your mental health is important, so always read trigger warnings, but I really think that this book is going to be very healing for a lot of people, myself included, because if you are a survivor of any kind, but especially what's mentioned in this book, it is really difficult to read, but it is also like so healing and so beautiful and a really important message. So in saying that, I am filming that reading vlog because originally it was supposed to be Beautiful Venom and Releasing 10, and I have literally cried so many times reading this book already, and I've been slowing myself down because, again, your mental health matters. So instead of doing June hopefuls, I am just going to kind of touch base with you guys, and I definitely encourage you to read the Boys of Tommen series. I encourage you to read the trigger warnings, but I think that this book, Chloe has got a lot of flack and a lot of negativity thrown at her online because of how traumatic and raw this book is. And I think that that's disgusting because I think if somebody puts out their trauma in hopes to help somebody else, especially a child that went through what goes on in this book, I think you're a disgusting human being to get on the internet and attack somebody for trying to help someone else because of their pain. Because this is a hurt woman who has turned her hurt and traumatic experiences into trying to help somebody else. So you're disgusting if you are attacking an author because of that, number one. Number two, saying all that, this is going to be very difficult for me to read, but I know it's going to be infinity stars, and I'm very, I don't even know if excited's the word, I'm very eager to find out Lizzie's story, and I think that this is just going to be a very emotional read for me. So for that reading vlog, that when you guys see it, probably the video after this, I will probably split it up in 2 parts because I'm going to take my time reading this girly. So we started reading this in May, and I really thought before I knew, what I know now, that I was going to finish this thing in a day. And it's not that I don't love this entire series because there are so many happy things that happen in this book. But this, for me specifically, I always joke. I'm like, I don't read trigger warnings, because usually I just pay the consequences. And it's not that this is like one of those situations. It's just, it is very, very deep, and it's hitting me on a lot of levels. And it is very therapeutic to me to read. But you got to pay attention to your mind, and sometimes you need to just coast along. So that is what I'm doing. but I will be uploading this entire reading vlog, and it's gonna be an emo one, okay? It's gonna be very raw. It's gonna contain spoilers, so that's all I'm gonna say about this. And to conclude, Chloe Walsh, I love you. You have helped me, and I know so many other people, work through their trauma by reading your series, and you're amazing, and I love you. And that concludes our May reading recap. I know that was like a heavy topic, but we're gonna end it on a happy note. We're gonna end it on a high note. In saying that, I just wanna chat with you guys, and I don't know. I had a really great reading month. It was very emotional. I feel like I cried so many tears this month because I didn't want to let go of a series. I had such a good time, and I don't know. This month was definitely a reminder that reading has saved me in more ways than one, and it's a lot deeper than I think a lot of people realize. And if you love books like I do, then you know exactly what I'm freaking talking about. And yeah, I'm just so thankful for all of the authors that I've talked about in this video, that I talk about all the time, because books are everything. And yeah, I just think that we're lucky that we're able to live a million lives through books, and it just makes me so happy. But yeah, and I did not want to bum anybody out, but I also want to be very real with you guys and tell you my thoughts. And yeah, May was a very interesting month, but we had a good time, and I will definitely be doing another one of these in June. But look out for my Releasing 10 and my Beautiful Venom reading vlogs, because one will be funny, one will be we're all crying together. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!